3rd round, 69 overall, Patriots select Kyle Williams, Washington State. Here's the reaction from the family.
Bam.
There's Kyle. Looks like he is emotional. He's thanking Chris Simms. Thanks for putting me on the map. Thanks for talking about me.
And I'm not going to share it here, but I talked to a lot of people in the NFL about him.
Yeah.
I've given you names and people, and he was widely loved with a lot of people. And just amazing to see. Yeah, this is one of the great picks of the 3rd round. I mean, we went on a little run there, late 2nd, 3rd round, where it was like all my favorite players were going off the board. I was like, this is the best 20 minutes of Chris Simms Unbuttoned ever, right here.
A tear.
That's all our favorite guys are going.
Went down your face with all those guys. This is Cam Ventura, 617, who says to you, I have been begging the Patriots to draft a Simms man-crush wide receiver for years. They finally do it. In Kyle Williams, his yak ability and McDaniel's offense has potential to be special.
Oh,
the rest of the league should be worried. The evil empire is on the way back.
They are on their way back. They are. I mean, they're another team that I would sit here and tell you they killed free agency and they did a really awesome draft. I mean, really awesome.
Wait,
there's not much to
top button swag.
I believe they are top button swag. Yes, they are.
There we go. All right, there we go.
Yeah, for what they've done here, I mean, I think the Will Campbell and the fact of, okay, he fits the Mike Vrabel way of life, right? So I like that, and we'll see if he can play tackle. But either way, he's Vrabel culture guy. Travion Henderson,
I love him,
is without question one of the best big play explosive players in the draft. And he's perfect with Ramondre Stevenson, who can be the in-between the tackles runner. And now we got the guy that we get in space, we get on the edge, or Josh McDaniels, who is a brilliant game designer, especially for route runners. This kid can run routes. This kid can be the Kevin Falk or the damn guy who was it that caught all the passes in the Super Bowl against the Falcons. Yes, James White. But except he's way more explosive. He's got 2 more rockets up his ass compared to those guys. So Kyle Williams, as you know, is one of the best route runners, one of the best with the ball in his hands after the catch, and McDaniel's going to be able to formulate offensive football around him. He's a kind of like a Stephon Diggs, except his physical ability is actually better than Stephon Diggs coming out. So now he's going to get to learn from him and be around him and work with him, and then hopefully take off. But I like even the Jared Wilson kid that they took from Georgia. He's going to help out their football team here soon. Joshua Farmer has some potential, the D tackle from Florida State. He's big and he's athletic. There's some things he needs to work on about holding his ground and being a little tougher. But, yeah, from those right there, I really did like their draft. I thought they killed it. They do get a top-button swag award.
And the kicker from Miami is not bad either.
No.
Actually, I don't know nothing about it. I don't know, but he has to be good.
He is pretty good.
He's got to be pretty
joke.
good, right? They're a pretty good team there. So it's going to be hard to argue any team improved themselves more than the New England Patriots throughout the offseason.
You can
go. Got to be number one.
I mean, it's them, the Bears. I mean, they're. I mean, one. I just go. They got better from their coaching alone. Let's just start there.
Right.
Vrabel, McDaniels, better. Right. Ben Johnson, Dennis Allen, better. Right. And so that. Then you talk about what they did in free agency along with the draft. They've completely flipped over their team. They got guys that Vrabel's gonna like. And yes, it does look like the evil empire of the NFL is starting to get back here and assemble the troops the right way and going to be a real pain in the ass in the AFC East.
Another 3rd-round pick you want to talk about, a team that made a lot of news with their 5th-round pick. We've already talked about the Cleveland Browns and Shedeur Sanders, but they take tight end out of Bowling Green, 67th overall, Harold Fannin Jr.
Yeah, the Browns, and unfortunately, this is where Shedeur has hijacked the draft for them in a lot of ways. But, man, I mean, first, one of the best trades of the draft. They got a trade from the Jacksonville Jaguars where they gave them like a franchise quarterback haul to move up to get Travis Hunter. So that's got to be a part of this process. Mm-hmm. Get Mason Graham, get Carson Schlesinger, a middle linebacker. What? Mm-hmm. Like freak show there? Get a starting running back in Quinshon Judkins, and then Harold Fannin Jr., who I think was up there with Loveland or Ty Lauren as far as being the best pass receiving tight ends in the draft. He's not going to be – he's got work to do blocking wise.
A little smaller,
yes,
right?
But you couple him with Njoku, you go, wow. And I like Dylan Sampson at running back. He can be the backup to Quinshon Judkins right away. So, yeah, between that, Dylan Gabriel, He's got talent, can run the bootleg, the offense they run. He'll fit that. He's got a big arm. And then, of course, Shedeur Sanders. It's given them options at quarterback to figure it out through numbers. It's going to be a distraction. But, yeah, their draft was one of the best. They get a top button swag award.
Ooh, so there's 5 of the 10.
Yeah.
Half of them have been handed out here.
Yeah.
So if you have not heard your name,
Tell
yet,
your wife to get to work because we have to send these teams T-shirts of Chris Simms Unbuttoned, okay?
I wonder if we can get a graphic by the end of this show.
Can you get that
Pete
going?
is scrambling
Can you work
back
that?
there. Browns, Pete notes here, got the Jaguars 2026 round 1 pick in the Travis Hunter trade. Jaguars have a 7.5 win total per DraftKings, and so that's going to be
that tells you
high.
like the middle of the draft, round, pick
better.
14, 15, somewhere in there. Right.
Yeah.
So we'll see where that goes. But that was a big-time trade, and we've kind of forgotten what they've done with the draft because we're just talking about that quarterback they took in the 5th round.
Another 3rd-round pick we want to highlight was one of your favorite in the draft, one of your favorite wide receivers going to the Houston Texans in Jaylin Noel, 79th overall.
Houston top button swag award, another team. 6 are gone. Bam. Jaden Higgins wasn't my favorite, okay, but I get it. I wouldn't go like, oh, you're crazy for taking Jaden Higgins in the 2nd round, right? He's not my cup of tea. We know that. But, again, big people, yes, part of that. Can run, pretty good route runner. You couple him with Nico Collins on the field, and that's going to be a pain in the ass for people to have it figured out. How do we cover both these big guys who are both pretty good route runners? And I would say Higgins is about better route runner than Nico Collins. Nico Collins has got more explosive ability. So Higgins can kind of be, yes, work on the outside, but also I think has inside value. They get one of our favorite tackles that we talked about at the end of the process, and they're continuing to try to figure out their offensive line. And this is a guy that I think could start right away in Ariante Irsay. Right? We love him. And then there's my guy, Jaylin Noel. If you made me bet, like the Texans, the Patriots, the 49ers, the Dolphins, those are the teams I would have thought would have took Jaylin Noel. I know, having worked with Nick Caserio, he loves those type of players, right? I thought it might have been Jaylin Noel and Jaden Higgins' spot, honestly. But they get 2 awesome receivers going forward here, which, again, they need. Because if you look at them and go, well, yeah, they got Nico Collins, but Tank Dell it might be a while with that nasty injury he had to deal with here. So they need guys that can contribute right now. And they're kind of in the window. Like, Houston's ready.
Yeah.
Houston can be a Super Bowl team this year. Christian Kirk, Noel, Higgins, right? And then go along with Nico Collins. That's a pretty damn good group until Tank Dell gets healthy.
Top button swag for
Top
them.
button
Wait,
swag.
did we say that's 6 now? Is that 6
I think
now?
that's 6.
Wow.
Right.
Okay, they're flying fast here. Your New York Giants now. You liked their number 1 pick, obviously, Abdul Carter. We covered that in the barn. But this is the 3rd round section, and in the 3rd round, they took the D tackle out of Toledo, Darius Alexander, 65th overall.
One of my favorite picks of the draft. A top 5 D tackle for us. A guy that's versatile to where he can kind of do a little bit of everything on the interior defensive line. He could play shade nose or nose tackle, but that's not really where you want him. That's why they got Dexter Lawrence. But he could play all those other positions right off of him. Hey, 3 technique, sure. Oh, you want me to 2 gap and get head up on the guard or the defensive end? Or maybe be a big defensive end here on this against the Baltimore Ravens and can rush the passer. So, yeah, I love that. I love the course Abdul Carter. We got a quarterback, even though I would have rather we didn't trade up to get him. I wish we could have just sat where we are and not gave up future assets, but we didn't get killed with the trade.
No.
Get Scatterbo at running back. We need talent. We need more players at running back. Scatterbo has a chance to be something. I think a lot of people in the NFL like Scatterbo. They were just like, man, as physical as he runs and how he breaks tackles, are we sure that's going to translate for sure? Yeah. But I think everybody did like him. The Giants finally just had the guts to pick him.
Dayball's like, we only need you for 1 year. This is all I got, maybe. So
yeah,
we need hold up for 1 year.
We need you right now to help us out.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, the Marcus Mbow, which I was shocked that he was down there in round 5, but a guy that's a really good athlete, tackle, guard, can do a little bit of all of that. So we'll see where that goes, but I thought the Giants really had a top-notch draft here.
So did Abdul Steiner, who said this to you. I like what the Giants did, but I felt the same way when they drafted Evan Neal and Kayvon Thibodeau, and look how that turned out.
Well,
so that is a fan that has been bruised and battered.
Yeah, well, I could tell you this, right? Abdul Carter's on another planet coming out than Kayvon Thibodeau. And I didn't like Kayvon Thibodeau very much, and it's one that I would say I think I'm right on that one.
Evan Neal was a surprise.
But Evan Neal was a guy I did like, for sure. And that one did not work out. I've been shocked by Evan Neal, but they didn't give him that fifth-year option. That's not going to happen. And unless he does something miraculous, this will be the last year Evan Neal's on the Giants. But don't worry. Abdul Carter will not be, okay?
He will not be Kayvon Thibodeau.
He will not. And they get a top button swag.
They do.
That's
so
right.
7 of the 10 have now been given out.
Yep.
Dallas Cowboys now. Next up, they're hoping. They're waiting there at the door. They're seeing if that button comes down for them. You did like their third-round pick, Shavon Revel, the corner out of East Carolina. It took a while. He slipped, 76th overall.
Knee injury.
Yep.
Though, how can you not love that? I had teams asking me, and I told you a little, on Tuesday and Wednesday before the draft if I thought he was going to go in the end of the first round.
Team they like the talent.
So the talent's there. This is all injury related. And the Cowboys, they have a pretty good secondary, and we know that. But you can't pass this up. Trayvon Diggs, Deron Bland. Maybe they're not going to give Deron Bland the big price tag or the big contract going forward. He's up for it, so maybe this is why they do that. Either way, hey, you good secondary, good cover guys. You can't have enough of them. Ezeraku in the second round. Are you kidding me? I mean, you couple him with Michael Parsons coming off the edge. Wow, wow, that's incredible. And yeah, I love Tyler Booker, the guard. He's a killer. They got a big, powerful offensive line. Jaden Blue, the running back from
what
Texas.
do you think about that?
I like that. I think that's one of the more underrated big play running backs of the draft. He's not going to break a lot of tackles. He's a guy, though, you get him the ball in space, you get him a screen, he gets a seam in the run game, he can go 80 yards to the house. He has that type of speed. So I liked all of that. But I was really impressed with the draft and just those top 3 picks, because I went, not only can those top 3 start, those top 3 to me have like superstar potential, star potential, where we could go, wow, like Booker's one of the best guards in the league. Ezeraku's got 12 or 14 sacks like year after year, and Shavon Revel, Savon, right? Savon Revel?
I think Savon.
Savon Revel can be an island shutdown type corner.
Knowing what we know now, so in your mock draft, your first-round mock draft, you had Omarion Hampton going 12 overall to the Cowboys. Like, they got to finally get one of these running backs. They want to run the ball. We know that. They get the linemen that can do that. But knowing what they did in round 1 with Tyler Booker and then round 5 with Jaden Blue, you'd take that over Omarion Hampton at 12, or would you still want the elite-er running back?
I have no problem with going with the big guy.
Yeah.
I don't. I think that's what you got to worry about right now, especially in their division with the Eagles. And if you want to compete with them, even what Washington's doing with their football team, and it's going to be Dan Quinn. He's going to continue to get that D-line going. It's a really tough one there. It really is. And, there's still a part of me that goes, they need more offensive weapons, but no, I have no problem with that. And you know me, I kind of favor the big people even as much as I love Omarion Hampton.
Urbar Stefan said to you, everyone makes fun about the Cowboys, but they are one of the best drafters out there. Will McClay running the draft for them, and so Pete notes maybe that's the reason. And Jerry and Stephen Jones kind of handle the business side of things.
Not debatable. They are one of the best drafting teams in football over the last 10, 15 years. The Jones have a great eye for talent. Mm-hmm. The Jones don't have the best feel of when to extend contracts. That's their biggest issue. Free agency, contracts, getting out in front of things, that seems to be the kryptonite of the Jones and the Cowboys family right now. You can't argue with who they draft. It's they kind of like kick ass almost every year. But unlike the Eagles, where they're like, wait, Cam Jurgens is about to be one of the best centers in football. Let's sign him now to a kind of the top of the tier market type of contract. And in 2 years from now, it'll be like 9th on the list, and we're going to go, we got like the best center in football. Yeah. That's what the Cowboys have struggled with. But was it Urbar Stefan? You're exactly right about that.
Congratulations, Urbar. You have identified something the Dallas Cowboys do well. Getting deep in the playoffs is not one of them here in recent years. So this is what you tweeted Friday from the barn or wherever you were.
I was sitting in my living room on Friday.
String of man crushes for me. They talked about Darius Alexander, your number 5 D tackle to the Giants. Harold Fannin to the Browns, tight end you liked a lot. Darian Porter to the Raiders just ahead of Kyle Williams. We haven't talked about Darian Porter yet, so let's do that. Let's get into the Raiders.
Do it.
Which, by the way, did we give top button swag to the Cowboys
No,
there?
they didn't get top button swag. They're close. They're up there, but the gold chain's still showing underneath the button, unbuttoned top button there.
All right, so here we go. A couple third-round picks for actually 3 for the Raiders in this one. Charles Grant, offensive tackle from William & Mary. Caleb Rogers from Texas Tech, another offensive lineman. But Darian Porter, corner, Iowa State, a guy that you identify that was way down on corner lists. If you looked at some of the top prospects out there and you go, I don't know that this guy's not one of the best out there.
No, I've never seen a big guy move the way he has. His big thing is just, yes, he didn't play enough. People wanted to see more film. I think the Senior Bowl, guys like Kyle Williams gave him a little issue. That was the first time he saw somebody like that. People were like, oh, the word that comes back is he got routed up a few times, right? And that's what people wanted to see from him. I think you didn't get to see that in college. It was like, did he get to play a top-tier receiver that really scared him and gave him an issue? And then how did he play after that? So that's where he is. But first off, Raiders, big people. That's the first thing I would say. Ashton Genty, small, yes, but they drafted him because they want to play big people type of football and run the ball, smash mouth, do all that. But Jack Beck in the second round, which is a little surprise to me. But, yeah, big receiver. Big receiver, can make some things happen after the catch, needs a little work on route running or whatever else, but they went that way. I love Darian Porter. I mean, I love him. I think he has a chance to be a superstar. And Rogers and Grant, the guys they got after him, yeah, again, big people that way. D tackles, Hemingway, Pegues from Ole Miss and South Carolina down the line. Again, not going to start right away, but certainly can play and be part of the rotation. So, yeah, I thought they got a lot of good value picks, I would say, in this one, the Los Angeles Raiders. I mean, even the receiver they took, right? The kid from Tennessee, he's big. Like, I can't remember. Deontay Thornton, I want to say he's like 6'4", 6'5". Yeah, 6'5", ran 4.3. Right, so it's incredible how much we saw that be a theme of this draft. And
big people draft.
Certainly for them as a football team, that was their effort there.
We asked on Twitter, Norse Raider 22, who he thought had the best draft.
Yeah.
He said the Raiders.
It was a good
Surprising. They got key pieces that they needed, but the common theme was elite athletes, tough, competitive winners who have high ceilings. Great first draft from SpyTech.
Yeah, and that's the kind of guys I thought they would have taken. Culture guys, let's get it going, love football. And SpyTech, even Tom Brady, I think they're from the school of Michigan, New England, Tampa Bay, again, where they're rooted in big people. And that's their beliefs there. And they're probably like, no, Pete. No, we're going with the big guy, Pete. Shut up. Yeah. We're going with the big guy. We like that. Yeah, I thought they did a really good job in the draft.
He goes, just give me that running back that I've been talking about all pre-draft process, and then you can do whatever you want after that.
Yo, homies. What's up? Thanks for watching Chris Simms Unbuttoned. And just because the weather's warm doesn't mean football ain't still on our brains right here.
We are still working, so smash that subscribe button. We got all the training camp news, preseason news, everything up until kickoff night.
Thanks for watching. And again, remember to hit that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.